in do one in this quarterfinal match, and we're gonna be moving into game number 4. Game number 4. And it's apparently gonna be cast, or rather played, on Ghost Lake. That's a fun map, a map that we have seen quite a lot of in the qualifications. Plenty of players actually got it from the random generator, and it's going to be yet again Isis Mirror, as that's apparently the god that both are feeling quite comfortable with, and especially Joe, because that's his main god, and he feels that if any god is gonna help him to win, it's going to be her. Alright, so let's start. Let us start away. It seems like this is yet again going to be the double spawn, or rather double gold spawn. And in pretty good positions, of course, for SuperAfim. He's having both of them at the back and next to the tower, so it's going to be kind of harder for his opponent to raid. And of course, with the Piggy being right nicely present, potentially even more of them, apparently not. It's going to be just the sole Piggy. He doesn't even want to actually spend time building Granary. Well, now he will have to build it, of course, because he did kill it quite far away, and it will be quite inefficient for him to do anything otherwise. Of course, in the corner, a few extra berries as he's scouting around, basically trying to see if there's the second one. Or another piggy, apparently for him. Yeah, of course, just now discovering that there's nothing like that. But he's gonna discover quite soon, as we have seen a bit before, that there are caribous in the front next to the relic for girdle of Hippolyta for better talk swords, chariots, and throwing axeman hit points. Good relic for an Egyptian on the chariot archers. Nice in the front, already discovered quite nice gold, even though he doesn't have anything behind his base. His opponent doesn't either, which is gonna quite probably promote an aggressive gameplay, even though they are at least having the double gold inside their bases. But still, it will probably prompt both players to march forward, and it's going to be interesting to see what they actually choose as their strategy. What is a bit of a difference, or actually significant difference, is that second TC for Joe is in the corner, basically fully protected. That's usually very good for Egyptian, but it doesn't protect any gold. So that's unusual, or rather unusual, unfortunate, and he will of course have to rely on the gold mines on the left and potentially on the right as well. So not a huge advantage for him, but still something not to forget, because safe TCs for Egyptians usually mean pretty good booming for them. The one in the front for Joe, and for SuperAfim, this is more for SuperAfim of course. The second one is a bit closer to him in there, but still kind of frontish, with a relic next to it, which is for Dwarven Calipers, yet again for the cheaper siege weapons, great for Egyptians. He's having the gold mine next to it, so I'm kind of thinking once he actually scouts this, if he does, he's gonna be quite happy about this position, going to be inch into the left and getting this gold, and of course the TCs as well. It seems slightly better than coming for the right side, because the map control on the right is going to be quite a lot harder without the TCs, and the TC, the only one in there, being quite far away and next to the wall of the map, which usually means that it's kinda useless for map control. Anyway, this of course also means for Joe that this gold is not really all that protected. He will have to maybe drop a Migdal in there. I'm still not really sure what gold he's gonna choose. The starting ones are the same as for his opponent, but I'm not really sure what he's gonna choose. It's going to be basically coin toss, I'm thinking. He might be a bit more tempted to go to the right, exactly because of the hunt right about now. And same might be similar for SuperAfim, but he has a disadvantage that he doesn't have the TC in there. So he might be slightly more tempted to really switch to the left and control the TCs rather than the golds, especially right now, because he's gonna be discovering that there is a gold mine finally for him. And that suddenly makes a lot more sense to go for this town center for himself. Well, we are at 3 minutes. There's going to be a bit of time before the temples are gonna be dropped and players are gonna be advancing into the next stage of the game, as we are looking into nice ice in the middle, and that's pretty much it. So let's move around, as apparently relics are going to be one-on-one. Each is gonna be getting a relic for themselves. I think that these are the Dwarven Calipers, or not? Or these are the ones at the bottom. Ah, he's not actually having it on himself right now. Yeah, but I think that's actually Joe's. The Dwarven Calipers. For the cheaper siege, yes. Whereas the one at the top was for the better. Well, for the chariots, I think it was for better chariots. Or what was it? The better hit points for chariots or some such, as the temples are already coming down. And how many, for example, goats in the meantime are we seeing? 3, 7, or 6, so basically the same. And how is it looking with the amount of villages? 4, or rather 3 on gold. going more on wood in there, and his opponent is having 3 as well. So it seems like right about now, as he's already having 1 on wood as well, that the strategy is going to be pretty much the same. This is 5 on food with about 1 million on food. 13 on food. I was looking for Joe. He's having 7 and 5. That's 12. Okay, so that's basically minor difference in there. He's having 1 less on food, but it's already coming through bust. 13%, or rather 16% right about now. 20, and SuperAfim is... Oh, just now going to be clicking into bust, so the advance into Heroic Age is going to be probably, together with the Classic Age, of course, a bit faster for Joe. You would be expecting that the Heroic Age would be faster as well. And we of course cannot really expect any kind of aggression in the early game, as that usually doesn't happen in Eggy Wars. They just hurry up into the Heroic Age, which means that we have basically about 8 minutes, or maybe even 9, before any kind of action happens, to look around the map and just wait what the players are gonna do. In the meantime, we can, for example, check into SuperAfim's laborers. What kind of upgrades is he having? He should be getting pickaxe sometime soon. Maybe even hand axe if he's really going to be aiming into chariots, but apparently not. So far, not really any kind of upgrades for him. And for Joe, we are probably going to be expecting something similar. He's not even having husbandry, that's a bit of a difference in there. But well, that's pretty much it, as he's not going for pickaxe and neither hand axe. So they are both playing the same strategy altogether. So of course they are going to be coming up some obelisks for both players. They are going to be trying to see what's gonna happen across the map, where the players are gonna be and whatnot. With Bust, of course, coming in for SuperAfim as well. And far out, together with 2 body priests, is going to be trying to see if maybe there's something to abuse and kill. Apparently not. SuperAfim is paying enough attention, not really interested in any shenanigans like that. And he has very nicely scouted. You can see basically a very nice belt, especially on the mini-map. It's visible, of those red obelisks. And right now he has a pretty good idea what his opponent is gonna do all around. Yeah, exactly. He knows absolutely everything. All the crucial spots. He knows where Joe is gonna go for the goal. That he's right now choosing the right side, not really the left, as I was maybe expecting that it could be it. But yeah, apparently not. And it's much more value in the right side with the TC, potential gold in here, Migdol about next to the gold, I'm fully expecting. And because he of course was still finishing with the food sources in there. Fortunately for him, it's going to be well scouted by SuperAfim, as Prosperity is coming in, and SuperAfim might be advancing faster into the next stage. You can see right now he's having enough food, and going to be having enough gold as well, as soon as he actually starts going for Prosperity, which he hasn't yet. Maybe going to be even advancing without Prosperity into the next age, but I'm Joe is going to be even slightly faster apparently, as he's just now clicking into Neftis. So yeah, that is that right there. Anyway, let's switch into SuperAfim. Rather, I almost really wanted to look at Joe, how much he's scouting. He's actually not scouting all that well as his opponent, because of course he knows just the right side, he knows the belt of gold, but he has absolutely no idea what's happening on the left. This is a huge difference between him and SuperAfim, because SuperAfim knows exactly what he needs to know. He has a belt across the whole map, and anything that his opponent is gonna do, he's gonna know, and that's a huge advantage in any kind of map, because scouting is often underplayed and misunderstood skill, because scouting gives you an opportunity to react to what your opponent is doing or not doing, for example, also as well. Yeah, so hopefully this is going to be exactly... Yeah, we are arriving at the same conclusion, both 5 men. Exactly, I was also thinking that I could really look in at the players, what they are doing each other, rather from each other, because of course, there's not much interesting stuff happening so far. But otherwise, they are playing basically the same strategy. They are not having all that many differences in there. They are just having different placement of the resources, which is going for a bit different gameplay. But so far, it's going to be a bit more extra priest from SuperAfim. Looking, for example, at the upgrades, because nobody was having them. Right now they're having both, at least SuperAfim, as he's coming for Miguel inside his base? Like really? Why? Why would you be going for that? That's kind of weird. economy, you can see that he's having a rather missing hand axe as opposed to SuperAfim. Interesting. So that basically means that SuperAfim should be having easier time with producing chariots. That's really kind of unexpected, to be honest. We'd be expecting the hand axe from Joe as well, but apparently not. But right about now, he fully controls this part of the map, this gold mine, and will be moving forward with a bit of raiding. And you can see just basically SuperAfim could have gone quite a lot more aggressively with the Migdol, not really understanding why he went so passively, because he will need to control some kind of gold mines on the right or on the left. But he's probably thinking that Joe is going to be a lot more aggressive than he actually is. And that might be coming back to bite him, because of course he's going to be relinquishing the map control and initiative to Joe. And, well, he's going to be hoping that maybe he can come back stronger from his stronger economy, which I think is so far better. Even though the difference in the score is not that huge. I'm thinking the economy is better for SuperAfim. Yeah, it's definitely better. 400, 800, it's basically better by about 500 resources. That's actually not bad. Especially looking at the same amount of villages. What exactly happened? It somehow paused on me. The game somehow actually paused on me. It somehow bugged or whatnot. So apparently I will have to restart it. Well, it's kinda sucky. Yeah, well, let's restart it. Let's not dwell. It was somewhere in the middle, so we're just gonna have to wait for that. That was weird. That hasn't happened to me before, but yeah, well, apparently it can happen, so sorry for that. But we're gonna be having a bit of look around as we are getting fast into the game time where we left. That was about some 10 minutes or rather 9 minutes or whatnot of the game time.
And you. And you.
Dwarven Calipers coming back into the temple as we are moving for the armory, and of course the heroic cages are going to be coming also. Going for the big door inside his base, and we're going to be about where we left. It should be about now, so okay, let's go from here and continue with the commentating as we are switching to SuperAfim, so that we see his resources and whatnot. And already Joe is coming back with the priests, not really interested in scouting with them or raiding with them all that much, wants to be protecting his home base, because he's fully expecting that, of course, the ancestors might be coming soon. And of course, in the meantime, the chariots will be attempting to stop the TC, but unfortunately not really fast enough. So that's right now fairly and safely in SuperAfim's hands, as is the TC for Joe. So far they are really playing pretty much the same style. Not really any kind of advantage for either player to be had. Just the difference, of course, is that the Chemos are the unit of choice for SuperAfim, the main unit, together with a few chariots in there. But of course, so far Joe is having just chariots, and let's see what he switches into in the next game. I would be really expecting a few camels as well, because he needs to basically counter the camels from his opponent as soon as possible. Would be interested if he actually goes for elephants as well. He definitely liked them in the previous games, and I would be expecting that SuperAfim will as well, because of course he has seen them used by his opponent, and that should be kind of signaling that in a mirror matchup it's usually a good idea to go with them as well, because otherwise elephants are a very strong unit and can be game changers if you underestimate them, but that probably won't happen in here. SuperAfim just now getting rid of all the scouting, which is exactly what should have happened a whole lot ago, or a whole lot sooner by Joe. He's basically letting all the obelisks still be present, basically giving up all the information that SuperAfim needs, that he doesn't need to worry about the left side of the map at all. Because Joe doesn't even know about that all that much himself, because he hasn't posted the obelisks there. Whereas his opponent, well, he just knows. He just knows that he can safely go for the TC on the left. He can safely go for the market. That's going to be, well, not really that safe marketplace for him, the market trade route. And a very short one, to be honest. Would be expecting a bit longer for him. But yeah. Let's turn on the Fog of War, so that we are gonna be seeing the proper engagements between the players. In the meantime, it's looking like that the armies are pretty much the same. I don't expect that anything is going to be happening in here before somebody actually invokes some ancestors, but it's not gonna happen before Some siege towers are gonna be appearing. Now the siege works are in times 2, and for the opponent, well, right now they're gonna be coming up on the left side. And is it actually because he's gonna be hoping to go into Joe's base from the left? It could be a fun way to actually win this game. Because Joe, as we have seen a bit before, has no idea about the left. He hasn't scouted there. He doesn't have obelisks. He's not even paying attention to it all that much. Just now going for the siege works finally, as he will need a gold mine in there, even though he does control all of gold on the right. And finally some first elephant, as I was talking about it, and probably might be hoping to actually push forward, but apparently not. Thinking that a bit more conservative approach is going to be wise, and he also needs to be aware of the fact that SuperAfim is having 3 TCs. He is still having 2, and he's not even coming for the 3rd TC yet. This is kind of interesting, and of course he's going to be quite heavily caught off guard, because this is going to be all about this obelisk, and just very well played by SuperAfim by the scouting, and that's why Joe is going to be losing this position. And even though he's moving with the army in there, it's still a bit of a problem for him, because he's going to be delayed and denied, and that often results in pretty big problems in your gameplay. Nicely placed obelisks. Going to be basically giving up the market position, and when the trade is going to be starting, and when actually, or rather where SuperAfim needs to raid. Well, siege work is gonna be finished by just once. Second one's are definitely not gonna be finished yet, but of course it's gonna be just a question of time. And SuperAfim, well, he doesn't have enough resources for advancing into the mythic age yet. But of course he's so far quite well controlling the map. And even though 30C is just now finished for Joe, it's way too late. Way too late, and SuperAfim already should be having much better economy than his opponent. Let's check the upgrades. It's going to be still the baseline with Sacred Cats. For Joe, for SuperAfim it's going to be what? There is some villager at the top, as there is a bit of a kerfuffle in the middle. Much better. Much better. He's already having, of course, irrigation, or is it irrigation? Don't remember anymore when I don't see the names. Yeah, irrigation, oh man, I remember correctly. And shaft mine, and he's also having, of course, Shadow, or rather Adze of Poet, sorry. Not Shadow. We are not playing with Ra, who is usually having the Shadow and whatnot. And of course, still pushing forward right now, Joe, and he seems to be having actually more army than his opponent. And where is actually the elephant? Has he died somewhere? Ah, finally moving forward. And this is actually looking quite dangerous for SuperAfim, because this army is very strong. And I don't really see all that much of an army from SuperAfim, to be honest. He's having just a lot of chariots, and not even that many of them in the first place. Some chariots went for a bit of scouting and raiding on the right, but that's about it. And still gold mine is very much present and in safety by the middle, and of course by right now controlling the left side of the map and the gold mines in there, it's going to be kind of harder for SuperAfim to mount some kind of convincing attack. It's almost looking like that we're gonna see ancestors from Joe. He's gonna be thinking that this is exactly the time for him to push forward. Unfortunately for him, SuperAfim exactly saw that and produced some extra priests exactly in time, and oh man, this is well played. And even though there was an attempt to build the monumental soldiers to basically prevent exactly this, all those ancestors unfortunately wasn't fast enough, and that will mean pretty good push right about now by Joe, and getting rid of the town center as well. Oh man, this is well played by Joe. He's going to be putting SuperAfim in a bit of paper situation. Nicely timed upgrade. Gonna be given at least a few extra seconds, but nothing really that major. Still gonna go down. Just now, last hit. Goodbye town center, and this is going very well indeed, and it's right next to the trade route and next to the gold mine, which is of course a pretty big problem for SuperAfim. So let's kinda guess if the ancestors from the opponent are gonna be good enough. I'm kinda thinking that they could be, because we are looking at just one or rather two priests from his opponent, and that's just not enough. Right about now, yes, finally going with them. He fully realizes what's gonna come, exactly as we are. So yep, well, apparently hands of the Pharaoh on the priests from red, as we are getting a bit of a different skin for them, as of course this is gonna be resulting into escape from the position, not really capturing the TC, but still it did the damage. The TC is down, the population limit is going to be problematic, but still the villagers are gonna come for it. Pharaoh is apparently not anywhere nearby, but still this should be easy for Joe to push forward for. Right now, counter ancestors. He will need a lot more priests than just 2. And they are going to be definitely singled by the chariot archers. Right. So far they are not really all that much, but I don't see the priest anymore. I'm seeing just one. Oh, this is just painful. This is just painful to see, because Joe has... Sorry, Joe has just... God damn it. It's difficult sequence. Joe has just selected all the units, together with the slowest ones, and send them to escape. And of course you're not gonna escape then. You need to leave the slow units behind, and just move the others as fast as they can. Oh man. That was just a bit of a shame. He just received so much extra damage that he didn't need to receive on the units. And that might be a bit more of a problem for him than he actually might be realizing. As apparently there's going to be push on the right side as well. As SuperAfim is going to be fortifying this gold mine by the siege workshop and the barracks. And he's already sending enough army in there to be quite annoying. And since this gold mine is going to be finishing for Joe in a reasonable time, I'm thinking... Oh, he's actually maybe aiming into, I think, Mythical Age. Look at that. Migdol is going to be basically just defensive and hoping that he's gonna stall any kind of potential push by SuperAfim, who has already reclaimed the front TC. Going to be right now trying to remount the siege works in there. But yeah, that's about what basically happened in here. 2 ancestors, 1 destroyed TC, TC is back up. So we are basically where we left, and right now it's going to be time for SuperAfim to push forward. What has to be noted is that SuperAfim is leading by 800 points in the game score, which is actually quite a big advantage, and something that actually doesn't seem to be all that corresponding to the gameplay. It seems like that Joe should be having more, as he's aggressive, which basically means that the advantage is going to be coming through the strong economy. Hoping right now is going to be working slightly better and not really stalling yet again. And you can see difference in the resources. Yeah, just pretty big actually, like about 3-4 thousand resources more right about now for SuperAfim, and that's a big difference. That's a very big difference in a mirror. And yet again it stopped. God damn it, it's some kind of annoying bug. Yeah, well, okay. Let's redo this then. Sorry for this. Apparently I cannot go into it all that much, but in other games it's actually working alright. In other records. But let's wait and get back to the time where we actually left the game, as it apparently got screwed yet again. And I'll definitely promise to try not to look into the post game again, because of course it's pretty annoying. Not only for you, I guess, but for me it is annoying as well. That's interesting, Benemususan. Thanks for the info. I could have sworn that I actually did use it in some past recorded games, but it definitely could have been in my live streams where it doesn't result into similar problem. So my memory can be definitely fuzzy. So thanks for the info, Benemusus. Yeah, in AoT it doesn't happen, but it's probably gonna be just gonna be confusing it with just right now. Catching those guys with actually the live streaming, in which I do it regularly and it just doesn't produce any kind of problem. Players just continue playing and it's fine. Ah well, glad that you enjoy them. Also, if you're also looking at YouTube, you can find the link below the stream. It's at /BlackAddersPlays. I've been tons of Age of Mythology videos in there if you're interested in more. We are nearing the time when we are going to be resuming the normal game, because sometimes those ancestors finishing the Migdol and pushing forward in here. Yeah, about here. Okay, so let's start again. Let's start with continuing with the battle, and this seems pretty dangerous to Joe, to be honest, because he's having all the army on the left, and he's having absolutely no chance to do anything with this fortified EC. Even SuperAfim is right now housed, so he's probably gonna be aiming into the Mythical Age in some reasonable time, which he might do something there, but it's gonna be literally useless. He cannot do anything significant, and of course this push is gonna be too strong for him, it seems like, because he's not gonna only lose the gold, he's gonna lose the Migdol, which he has just second in there, and he doesn't have anything else. And much more importantly though, he doesn't have any army, and we have already seen that the economy is so much better. So much better for SuperAfim. Joe is having finally some nice upgrades in there, whereas his opponent is maybe having slightly better. But yeah, it's right now about the same. But yeah, his opponent had it much sooner, much sooner, which resulted into such a huge difference in the overall numbers. So yep, Migdol is gonna be pretty much coming down. Even through the mercenaries coming from the TC, doing what they can, but the siege towers in just a bit too many numbers. And since the Migdol is not being repaired at all, yeah, it's goodbye TC. Another one attempted to be built right next to it, because he basically needs to protect the TC and the gold. Yeah, those two are going to be super crucial for him, as soon as he loses this position on the map, he's gonna lose the TC as well, and that will spell a disaster for him, as there is already a bit of an attempt at actually raiding on the left. Joe trying to go for the gold, but yeah, that's not gonna be safe anymore, as even though walling is a nice idea, it's going to be way too late, as there's still a hole on the left, and probably it seems like that Joe is not gonna be able to do anything with that. So, it seems like the gold starving is going to be coming into play for Joe. As unfortunately for him, this is also quite close by to the trade route for him. Yeah. Fortunately not ideal at all, as he's right now desperately trying to finish the Migdol, but with all the siege towers, even though he does have the mercenaries and finally some army in the Chemos in there, and not really enough push. Right about now by SuperAfim is going to be losing all of this. This is still a pretty big threat to Joe, and he's forced into heavy defensive. Heavy defensive, it doesn't seem like that SuperAfim will be letting up anytime soon. Does he have masons? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. So right now, all of this is right now resolved, as all of the villagers are coming back to the gold mine, but yeah, as we have seen just a bit before, the reinforcements are coming in, and it's not really going to be safe for Joe's villagers anytime soon, as of course, those chariot archers are trying to do the same on the left side, controlling all the gold mines, and well, SuperAfim even coming into 12th, as Joe is not, because you can see he's absolutely out of gold. He's having literally 100 gold, and he is not allowed to get it anywhere. And he has, of course, had his trade route design, or rather delayed as well. And this might be just game-winning move right about now by SuperAfim, because he's coming into the Mythic Age, and of course his opponent without the gold to get there. And even without gold mines, or rather gold for mercenaries, this is pretty much the same. He's done. I don't exactly see how he could be getting out of this stranglehold, because even though he is just for the moment staying alive, once the mythical age hits, yeah, it's just gonna be meteor somewhere about. No position. Oh, Joe doesn't have, he doesn't have monument here. This might be so easily actually meteors there. Not here, because there is the monument. There is not monument at the back, so potentially there are two places for the meteors, but I'm fully expecting that they are gonna come here. They are gonna come here because unfortunately Joe forgot the strength of Isis, monuments, protection against the god powers. And oh man, even right now going to be trying to kill them in there. Yep, casting exactly the meteors when we were expecting, and that's gonna result into Joe tapping out and SuperAfim advancing into the semifinals after quite good games, 3-1. And he's gonna be playing against whom in there actually? Let's check. He is going to be playing either against Boyd or Grand Monster, who are going to be playing on Sunday at 13 GMT. I'm hoping to be streaming that as well. So follow me on the channel and the Facebook and Twitter to learn when I'm coming live. This is gonna be a very good match, and I'm looking forward to casting that for you. We are just right now looking into post game with SuperAfim winning absolutely everything. Yeah, that's not much of a doubt, looking how the game actually went and whatnot. You can see the better economy. It just makes a lot of difference in mirrors. You're just going to be able to do significantly more than your opponent. And you need to make a huge mistake to let your opponent overcome it. And that's not something that SuperAfim did. Quite the opposite. He controlled the game very well. Even though Joe advanced faster into both Classical and Heroic Age, SuperAfim just didn't mind. And yet again, more researches for SuperAfim. 75, whereas Joe just 14. And even heavy chariots at the very end for SuperAfim to hammer the point home that he was having a better game in there. But still, nice performance by Joe, especially all across the tournament in the qualifications in the round of 16. which I don't think that he actually played. Right now I have to quickly check if I streamed him or not. I don't remember. Yeah, he actually didn't play. Okay, so he played just in the qualifications, but in those games he played well. And today, also not bad. Not bad in these streams at all. Especially I like the game that he won on the Savannah. That was really good. A really good game indeed. But yeah, just one player can advance forward. And that is today's SuperAfim into the semifinals. So, GG.